Wrong image once again. Dang it. Where is it? There it is. Hello, everyone. Back to Yume Nikki, episode 4. Thank you guys' username as well for the 3 months advanced subscription at tier 2. And last time we did quite a lot of exploring and ended up picking up a majority of the effects that are present in the game, but at this point we need to just sort of clean up the last remaining things and see if I can get a few of the rarer and more esoteric events to fire. So I will be, for a majority of it, beelining straight for interesting events and the effects that I have checked where they are now that I've gone this far in. And I looked up one of the things that I half remembered existing and figured out the exact conditions to trigger it. I was very close, but not quite right. Let's fire things up, shall we? Speed looks good. We go into the realm of dreams. Let's see here. I had mentioned before that there is a event that I wanted to trigger around here. One that I didn't know about for a long time. That requires very specific actions. Oh, I had some of the ideas right. I was missing a couple. If you look at these closets, there isn't anything. However, after stabbing that character, Kayla Argent says, Meowdy. Meowdy to you too, friend. Welcome. Well, this may look like the Hell Maze. This is different. And that's all there is there. A very specific event that requires very specific conditions that you wouldn't really accidentally stumble upon. That leads to a unique room. A single crossroads in the Hell Maze environment, with the ghost of myself looking at me from the center. Sizable room that I don't think we've actually been in yet, despite wandering around this place a fair bit. Okay, that's a vertical loop, so that means we scoot over one more. Where are you at? I know you're in here somewhere. We're looking for a parrot figure. A neon parrot. There's a possibility that I was actually in one of these rooms, or supposed to be in it, like wandered kind of out of view. Okay. Guess there was a wall here, we need to revert back here, and that's the doorway that we usually exit through. Because yeah, it is possible for these creatures to wander. There we are. Hello. Neon. And once again, like before, if I'm heading out here, you might know where this is going. That's right. We have to go to the Hell Maze again. There's another thing that can only be accessed through the Hell Maze. 1 second here as I pull this up here. Okay. And there we are. I think we may actually have been here before, but we took an exit from this place before finding one of the things that we needed. Bicycling around the nighttime docks. Oh, is it eating? It might be eating. I always interpreted that character as, at the end of the dock, as crying. But it could be an abstract, tall figure eating, like, a green apple, or a round food. Or maybe this is actually a follow-up to the game Grun, and they are eating an egg ball, a local delicacy. Or Snert. Hey, Conley. Good old Snert. Hope y'all's day has been going better than mine has prior to starting the stream up. I got myself a glass of water, took a few sips from it. Then I actually looked inside and saw curdled milk on the bottom of the cup. So I got a new glass. The little chirps these folks make. Friends. Alright, yeah, I'll bite. Conley, what on earth are you talking about? What does that mean? Vivid stasis. Never heard of it. Itch release, Steam release. Rhythm game and visual novel ARG mystery. Freeware. That sounds nifty. Let's see here, what else is there? It's... I need to go to the dark area. We are. There's a couple things that we've missed in the desert. Oof, sorry about the flashing lights there. I didn't remember it being quite that intense. Endless desert. Alright, fortuitous. Madutsuki feels sick. Wonder if we can find the Onsen song again out here somewhere. No, but we did find this. I'm not sure if we had the traffic light when we first encountered these. It might reset based on a full game cycle, or not full game, based on sleep. But occasionally there are falling figures or floating something far off in the distance in the sky. It's interesting how if you compel them to come toward you, they'll still end up converging at that corner to look at the light in the sky. You know, unless they're scared. As they should be. Okay. As is frequent for my playthroughs of this game, the last one I am missing is one specific item that I consider to be in the deepest corner of the game. Let me just take a quick look here. Squish, squish. Okay. Once again to the dark world. Bicycle, not cat. Bicycle, not lamp. And then while we are doing this, we have the chance to try a fairly rare event. The chances aren't that horrible. It's 1 in 4. But the thing is it's just so far away. It is buried deep, deep, deep in the game. Okay. I want to go right. Apparently. Yes. There's a mazy route up right here. Which is a quicker way to the barracks. Brings us out here. Once again, hand imagery. The ground tiles making a vague hand shape. So now that I'm here, what next? Okay. I was guarding the spot. Squish, squish. Gui Madatsuki. Another hand. A very obscure one-way route from a very difficult to get to spot to a significantly less difficult spot. It's possible for the Oni to be there when you aren't transformed into an Oni yourself, but it's rarer. But if you enter that pyramid room with the Oni effect, then it's, I believe, guaranteed to appear. Let's see here. face right here. What's interesting is there's some shapes and designs for these levels that only becomes apparent when you look at them from afar. And the only way to really do that is to open the game up in either an editor yourself or look up a pre-existing map that someone's made. Because this entire area is actually like a portrait. In keeping with the sort of theming of many of the other surreal things, like the sad face neon flashing thing from before, sort of monkeys or like vaguely occultic or sacrificial or swords, lots of stuff like that. Here we are. Jellyfish again. Right, the frog path leads to the maze. Teleporter maze, my favorite. That's pretty forced pun even by your standards, Conley. Hell is arriving from two separate angles. Teleport mazes and bad puns in the chat. This is the one and only way to get here. And while this area may look familiar, this is in fact a different variant of the volcanic island. Brings us to the Dark Ruins. Ruins, dungeon, cave. I think all of those are the same thing. And you can quote me on that. A dungeon and a cave are the same thing. Once before, I had wandered into this room and noted how it was already bright in this room at a dead end. One and four, this corner of the wall, you can talk to. Hey guys, username. Thanks for stopping by as always, and thank you for your generosity as always. Spread the word to your friends if you like what I do. Though you've already provided so much, you know? So that's a more general message to anyone else. Oh no, did I ruin it by moving? I would really like to, though, reiterate how wild it is that this event exists. Like with the famous Uboa event, this is unbelievably low odds, considering the circumstances, and is incredibly hard to find, and is interacting with a singular random wall in one of the deepest points of the game. That you would have no reason to investigate at all in the first place. We're awake. Here we are again. But guess what? I'm cheating. The glitch event is one that I didn't know about for a very long time. One of those ones that I discovered significantly after I had done what I thought was absolute completion of Yume Nikki, and ended up just hearing later on that, oh, there is this tiny and rare event that I missed. Another secret here. Walking through does nothing. But now it does. More severed arms and legs popping out of the ground. That imagery was also present in the eyeball world, with them wreathing and hopping about. Ah, we've been here before. This part of the game always leaves me with a little bit of melancholy. This game I feel is about analyzing Matatsuki's brain state and her history, or their history, I suppose, based on the imagery present in their dreams. But there's a secondary thing I always feel at this, which is that this is a game about discovery and the joy of simply finding things. A bit of a game about just wandering, trying stuff, and being surprised. And so, when you've reached this point, and you realize, oh, I've kind of explored all there is to see here. I wonder if that's an intentional aspect of the work, where as time goes on, even this dream world that you've gotten so attached to ends up starting to feel dry. But if we look at the tutorial, there's one last thing for us to do here. No, a couple things. If we go back and reread the tutorial knowing everything we do now. From the bedroom, get in bed, enter the dream world, pinch your cheek with the number key 9. By examining certain spots, you will require a new effect to use. After using one of the effects from the menu, your appearance will change. You can get rid of the effects in the Room of Doors, number key 5. You can save the game by walking up and checking the desk in the bedroom. All the different selves that we've discovered. Different versions of us. Different impressions. Some positive, some negative. We can put them all here. Ugh. We've seen everything the dream world has to offer us.
To another place.
Not the right time, Kayla. Ah. Re-entering. They've been sorted nicely for us. Game design, graphics, sound design, and music by Kikiyama, made in RPG Maker 2003. And with the context of the ending the game has, I now view Yume and Nikki in part as a cautionary tale about self-isolation, about fantasy, about trauma rendering you unable to see the world at large and putting up barriers and closing yourself off. Various reasons for Maritsuki's behavior and reasons for not leaving her place are up to interpretation based on the content of the game, the content of the dreams, and what your interpretations of them are. So ultimately, like how I think many good art pieces are, Yume Nikki is a little bit of a mirror for you too, that asks you what you see in it. Kikiyama has done exactly one interview with Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale and Deltarune, but that one interview was also done under the condition that Toby Fox does not actually ask any questions related to the content of the game itself, but merely some questions based on the context of around when the game was created and stuff like that. Which makes it clear that the person who made this work wants to let it speak for itself, you know? David Lynch was also someone who frequently did this, and Unlucky Chloe, who we've highlighted before, ouch, also has the same view toward her own works, of just... What's that beautiful quote from David Lynch? Yeah, the wonderful quote from David Lynch is, "Eraserhead is my most spiritual film." Interviewer: elaborate on that. David Lynch: no. And then refused to expand on it. The work is created, and it's up to you to decide what you take away from it. And some of the things that ultimately I've taken away from Yume Nikki myself are a love for the horror genre as a whole. I never liked horror. I was a very scared little slime. But the type of horror that this game has, where it's just sort of vague unease and lots of things that look like they can hurt you while you're never actually in too much of threat, showed me a variant of horror that I could stomach. And as I started to wander these worlds, I grew more and more entranced with it, wanting to learn as much as I possibly could about the setting of this game, about the different places you could go, the tiny events that you could see. And by sharing it with you, I'm further expressing that of, I look at this and I wonder, is something going to be different this time? Am I going to learn something new that I didn't know last time? Is there another tiny little nugget of something that I can find this time? I always keep wondering that each time I play. Maybe something new I'll realize this time. Maybe there's some event that was added quietly. I don't know. But I think that obsession with the dream world is an important part of what makes Yume Nikki so special. Is this a valid interpretation? Is this an intentional one from Kikiyama? How should I know? But nonetheless, it is the sort of things that I experienced while I played through this, and between this game and another one called Laurie Anderson's Puppet Motel, those two provided a avenue for me to experience horror in a environment where it's surrealist and low-key instead of in your face and terrifying and monstrous. Puppet Motel is a game I absolutely want to get to on this channel because it is utterly and absolutely formative for me as a work of art that influenced all of my tastes. But that is one that I will need to emulate because that is a PC game from the 90s. Maybe even like a Mac game. It is Macromedia player. But Laurie Anderson is a mixed medium artist that has done statues, VR experiences, lots of music. She's a musician. Um, Installations, objects, sculptures, interactive stuff. Wide range. And Puppet Motel was her foray into games during an era where there was a little bit of a gold rush and a mania for this PC game is designed and brought to you by this famous person. And so there's actually quite a few of these from that era, but Puppet Motel is the one that we had and was by an established artist, so, you know, someone with a bit of a repertoire for creating surrealist experiences and with an excitement for messing around and doing things unexpected in the medium. And all those things, the ways that expectations on game design are broken, are the things that make me love Yume Nikki and love Puppet Motel. Phew. Bit of an introspective day today, huh? But as we pinch our cheek, we know that we're awake now. And still, Madatsuki refuses to leave the room. I think that will be doing it for our playthrough of Yume Nikki, because we've collected all effects. We have gotten almost every single rare event that I know of. Let's see. Even now I'm still prefacing with maybe there's something secret in this game I haven't discovered. But every hidden event, apart from the hot air balloon in the black and white desert, which is a 1 in 2,000 odds each time you take a step in the desert. Each tile moved. A thing will fly across the center of the screen, which could potentially startle you, and then it will be gone, and that's it. So, with Yume Nikki complete, that opens up a slot for our Wednesday time slot. And I would like to share with you the game I plan on showing off next. Going a bit of a different avenue this time, and playing something a bit more modern. But nonetheless, as is the standard for my channel at this point, I will be showing off something that is a very unique interpretation and approach to game design. Our next Wednesday feature shall be Tunnet. Tunnet is a game about waking up in what seems to be an underground bunker. And you seem to be a robot. Everyone else seems to be robots. And you've immediately been tasked with setting up a network, an intranet for the bunker you're in, and an internet for any other bunkers that may or may not exist around you. So you dig, you establish links, and those computers that you link up have data that they want to be transmitting to specific places. And so you set up routing. And as you expand your network and discover new places to visit, you'll gradually need to deal with more and more crosstalk across the networks, and this endpoint only wants to speak to the mainframe of the original bunker, while this one only wants to talk to this other endpoint. This one is going to talk in between these 3 different places, and so it needs to have access to all of those, but it doesn't need to have access to everything else, etc., you know? So there's some network design, there's some engineering, and there's a fair bit of exploring too. What is this place? Why are you here? What are you? What is everyone? And what is everything? A game about routing protocols. Thanks as always, everyone, for tuning in. And let's see who you can rate to. A little bit of a shorter one this time, but...
Cruelty.
Eula Castor is playing Crow Country. Looks like they might not have started yet. Not sure. In any case, though. Thanks for joining me through Yume, Nikki. And hopefully you can understand now why it is a game that is very close to my core. It's quite simply a formative work that influenced a lot of people. To another place, my friends.